Welcome to this session on NextGen identity. Uh, my name is Jonas. I am a cybersecurity expert at Concordium, and this is my esteemed colleague, Erasmus, Director of Product. We'll be talking about verifiable credentials and AI agents. So I don't know if any of you saw this video coming into the conference. Thomas Krog had a digital twin made of him. That's quite funny. He also used it in the keynote, though it looked like he was talking to a video. He was actually talking to a real LLM. And this just really shows to the level we reach now where you actually can't tell real from fake. I mean, you can be talking to one of these things. In fact, the newest version we have of founder Lars there, he also makes these in a sister company. So you could say Lars makes the problem and creates the problem and solves it at the same time. Thank you, Lars. But that version at the office, there are some colleagues that have been working with him for over 30 years, and they can't tell the difference. They can't see if it's the real Lars or not. So if you ever wondered when we are reaching this point, well, the point we already reached it now. So we need to do something quite drastic, and we actually are, we don't have that much time. So if you now would be the time to have like a family password or something like that with your wife or kids or something. So when your daughter calls you in the middle of the night and says she's kidnapped and you ask her the family password, you can know whether you should just go back to sleep or take it seriously. So yeah, maybe that's a good time now. Anyway, this is of course because of fraud. Fraud is not new. It's been with us for quite some time, but now it's gotten this new tool, so it's just going to go on steroids from here on. It's just going to be worse and worse. And I think the estimated number was $400 billion or something like that. I think that's even putting it quite low. So this also affects cybersecurity in so many ways, this new thing. So we need something, and we need something fast. But first, we need to realize that we are in a completely new paradigm here, where everything has changed. There is a before and there's an after. And this moment has already arrived, basically. So in the future, which is now, you need to verify all content by someone you trust. This is all messages, all emails, all videos, all pictures, every online appearance basically has to be verified or has to come through a trusted channel. This is just a new reality that we have to cope with right now, and people have a little problem coping with this. I don't blame them actually. So let's see. We do have a sense of urgency here, of course, and so the thing is that video forensics are no longer. You can no longer trust a video. You used to do that, and I used to explain this in the way like if you have a friend that says he saw a UFO, could be my friend Anders here. Yeah, I would tell Anders that go take a video or something of it, right? And then all the UFOs disappeared after that, apparently. But if he ever came up with a video, I would say, "Oh, that's great. We're not alone in the universe. That's fantastic, right?" That was yesterday. Today, I'm just back to whether I trust Anders, my friend, or not, right? So all content needs to be signed and verified by someone you trust. And then you have to say, well, who is that you actually trust? So this also, I don't know if you remember this example with the Danish People Party that made a deepfake of the Prime Minister, Mette Frederiksen. And there was an uproar where they now want to legislate using, I don't know the English word for it, ophavsretslov, like some copyright or something like that. And that just shows that they haven't understood this, that there is no such thing as a trusted video by Mette Frederiksen. All videos are untrusted unless it's been verified by Mette Frederiksen herself or a news outlet that you trust. That's it. That's all you get in the future, right? So this is a very important thing to actually just keep in mind. So how do we go about this? Well, we need to identify ourselves. So we need to sign stuff, right? And there is this thing that was coined by Kim Cameron, this thing that the internet was built without an identity layer. He really coined this term like almost 20 years ago. And this is also a thing that's been plaguing the internet since its inception, because all fraud and most of the cybersecurity issues we have, they're related to someone pretending to be something they're not, right? So we need an identity layer. And Concordium was founded on the idea that we actually need this kind of identity in the future. That's why we call it a layer 1 blockchain with identity built into the base layer. I don't know if that's what they thought about like 5 years ago when they invented it. I wasn't around at that time. Okay, so how do we go about this? Well, we are going to use a thing called verifiable credentials. Let's just a show of hands. Who here are familiar with the term verifiable credentials? All these people don't count, yeah. Very few. So I'm glad to be the first to explain it to you, because verifiable credentials, I can guarantee you at this point that you're going to hear about it again. It's going to be a thing you use in your daily lives in a short number of years. It's a thing that follows this triangle of trust, where you have an issuer of a credential, and then you have a holder of a credential, and then you have a verifier that looks at the credential. And if that sounds familiar, that's because this is the system you've always been using. If you're old enough like me to have a real wallet, this is a wallet. By the way, this proves that I'm over 30 if I have a real wallet, right? Yeah, and in this wallet, I have my driver's license issued by the police, what they think about me as the holder. I'm the holder. It's in my pocket. I have the option to take it out and show it. That's in the theme of self-sovereign identity, of course. And then a verifier can look at this and attest to whatever my age or that I'm a real person or something. So this is the concept of verifiable credentials. Verifiable credentials are digital versions of this, in big and small, in just about anything you can conceive. Could be university diplomas, it could be sports club memberships, it could be just about anything. And I know this is a financial audience, so just picture this, that you are standing somewhere and you have a verifiable credential from your bank saying that you're solvent and that you're allowed to transfer, I don't know, X amount of money. You have a verifiable credentials from Rebus that says you have no debt. You have a verifiable credentials from the police saying you're not on the criminal record. You have a verifiable credentials from the authorities saying you're not on a terror list. You have a verifiable credentials from I don't know, whatever insurance company. You can combine all these into a single proof that a verifier can trust. And the best part of this, so you might also be thinking, wait, should I identify myself in all matters? Well, the privacy here is guaranteed by a thing called zero knowledge proof that I don't have time to get into. But I mean, this is just the correct way of doing it. So we are looking into a future where you have all these verifiable credentials, and you're just going to be using them left and right. Yes. Okay. So, but what's really going to push this is the European identity wallet that's coming in 2 years. So it's often like, what's going to be the big mover from Web 2 to Web 3? Will it be DeFi? Will it be, I don't know, tokenization? What will it be, right? I actually think this one will be at least one of the major ones, because every single European will get this wallet in 2 years, and it's basically a holder of verifiable credentials. And you're not forced to use it, but companies are forced to accept it and the credentials you have in it. So this is coming whether people like it or not. And again, the vendors are picking up on this. Also, the Americans are doing their own version of this. You have like Google, Apple are starting to see this. You have Microsoft, which actually already supports verifiable credentials in their product Entra ID, for you that know this. I mean, it's been there for a year and a half, unbeknownst to just about everybody, where you can have verifiable credentials coming from the outside into the Entra ID ecosystem. So you could sit literally today in a Teams call and have a verifiable credential, say you work at a company like Concordium, and Teams could enforce that only members of said company is allowed to be in this team call. Yes, so that's the future we're looking into, and I think Erasmus will tell more about a specific verifiable credential.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jonas, for that tour de force.
I'll remember my wallet. Yeah.
Don't forget it. Safety first. To make it more concrete, we will try to take this very general concept and give an example of something that we're building at the Concordium. It's something that we call AI provenance certificates. So we already saw a little bit about the future of where we're heading. It's going to be very difficult to trust anybody in this new trust paradigm. And one thing that is needed there is kind of rails, like the ability to actually see the origin of all these AI agents that you are going to be interfacing with in the future. So First of all, I'm going to go a bit technical, a bit deep, then we'll come back out again, and hopefully it'll be clear about what's going on here with some examples. So Jonas already talked a lot about verifiable credentials, and in this context, they are going to be used for provenance. That's this idea that you can see who is behind an AI agent, who created it, which AI service developed it, which models were used, and so on. Another thing is, this is really important, actual consent to use. So let's say that Thomas Crow, when he was being cloned, digitally cloned, he actually should be able to give his consent and say, yes, I have approved, you can take my likeness, you can use it now out there in the world. Only in these specific locations. If you're using it elsewhere, that's no good, right? So that kind of consent piece is very important with these AI agents. Then on the other hand, we have a blockchain, which is a decentralized ledger system. It's a data storage that is accessible by everybody, right? It's an open place to read data from, but it's actually still private, which is a very interesting place to be. And in this context, we use it for three things. We have it to actually manage the life cycle of these certificates. So again, this is, you might want an expiry on it, just to make sure that it doesn't, AI agent doesn't run out there in the wild forever. And you also want to be able to withdraw your consent, as I mentioned. Furthermore, it'll be used as an event log, so that while you're actually interacting with it, all the events that are happening with this interactive generative AI will be logged somehow in an immutable data storage. So further down the line, if something goes awry, something goes bad, you actually have the ability to go and do a forensic analysis, and you can use these timestamps as a immutable proof that this event has taken place. And furthermore, because Concordium has an identity layer, as you mentioned, it also has this identity object that you can use to associate a real entity, a real person with this AI agent. So let's try to make it a bit more concrete with an example. We could imagine in the not too distant future, we're going to be interacting with our doctor through an app of some kind. Let's say that this is actually the doctor around the corner, the one that I normally go to. But she has decided to also make a 24/7 cloned version of herself digitally. So for that low priority stuff, not so urgent stuff, I just want to talk to somebody. She actually has done that, and that's another revenue stream for her, another way of expanding her business. However, right now, if I'm interacting with her, I have no clue what's going on. Who is this, the real one, or did somebody else, or what's going on, right? There's no additional metadata here that really allows me to verify what's going on. So now going behind the scenes a little bit, this is sort of a flow chart to show what it looks like. And you'll see here that we have the issuer, the holder, and the verifier. I'll get into that in a second. So this is from that trust triangle that Jonas was just talking about. So we have an AI service. We start up here in the top left corner. We have an AI service. Their business model is to produce these kind of digital twins, for example. And they then let creators come onto that platform and start fine-tuning that data with, for example, an image of myself. I start training it, I start feeding it, I start tweaking it so it really works for me. At that point, the digital twin is created, the avatar, and it gets associated with a certificate that is now stored on chain. And this is the certificate that allows me, for example, to withdraw my consent for use. That's that lifecycle management that I mentioned. Now, the digital twin is ready to go into the wild, onto the internet. It can be in your WhatsApp feed, in your TikTok, or on your Facebook, right? It can be on this consumer platform. And there, now as a consumer, I'm able to play the role as a verifier and actually go in and see what is going on behind the scenes. Simultaneously, we also have this timestamp log that I mentioned, which is sort of being able to do, for example, a forensic analysis post factum. It also allows us to do liveness, so you can actually see that the AI agent has been allowed to operate on a given location within a given time frame, for example. Again, let's try to make it more concrete. So suddenly, I have a QR code now. I'm having the same session, talking about everything that ails me, and she's giving me great advice, but I just want to make sure that we are actually talking to the right person here. So I scanned that code, and and I suddenly get a more information, right? I can start actually investigating for myself what's going on. And you'll see that, I don't know if you can see it all the way back there, but I'll be able to see that there's a creator there. They have chosen to remain anonymous, by the way. And this is where this zero knowledge proof things come into play. We won't talk about that today. But we can see that they have chosen to reveal their origin, where they're located. They're in Spain, for example, and this little check mark says that they have actually gone through an identity check with the Concordium ID. So it's like, I can actually feel secure that somebody has done this. I mean, in this case, because she's a professional, she would probably choose to reveal her name, right? Because you want to know the name of your doctor. So she would probably do that in this instance, right? She has nothing to hide, but in other contexts, people might want to choose to remain anonymous. Furthermore, I can see which company is delivering the model, and there's also more things that will come out this way. So that, hopefully that will give you an idea of what it is that we're building. We call it a new trust standard for this radically new trust paradigm. We're still rolling out the standard. We have the standard, the first draft of that, but we actually welcome everybody who wants to contribute to that to come in and participate, because this is something that we want to roll out alongside the industry. So welcome everybody to contact either Jonas or myself and learn more about it. And we are expecting to roll out the first versions of this probably early 2025. So with that, we thank you for your time. There again are our email addresses. Please feel free to reach out if you want to learn more. These are very exciting times. All exciting times also come with some risk. And we need to find a nice balance. We cannot regulate our way out of this. We need to also find technical solutions. And we just gave you a good overview of some of them.
So is there time for questions? Or?
2 minutes. So
Brilliant.
Yeah, we have 2 minutes for questions. Then, like, are we real? Yeah. Just think when holograms get invented, then you even can do that, right?
All right. Yeah. Oh.
I think you need a microphone there for that. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, with the current collaborations with Netcompany and those delivering on the EU digital wallet solution, like what's Concordium's role in relation to that? Where do you fit into that wallet solution?
Yeah, that's true. So like the wallet will be using primarily Europe's own blockchain, EBSI, which will be a permission blockchain. Well, there'll be an ecosystem around it with all the projects that have their own verifiable credentials. And I think a lot of the wallets will be EBSI compliant at that point. I mean, they're going to figure this out soon. So you will have a wallet that can interoperably connect to the European version of this, and then you'll have your own ecosystem that can, facilitate whatever. It could be access management in a company, or you name it. I mean, how many McDonald's coffee cups you have left, or something like that, right?
And then the value add here is there's going to be a whole infrastructure to actually handle, sort of on top of the identity layer. It's going to be able to handle a lot of other things around these AI agent certificates, right? So that identity layer could be an EU digital wallet or an IDAS ID. It could also come from other places, and then there's this additional layer on top of that, so to speak.
We have time for one more question, yeah? No?
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
thank you so much, Erasmus, Jonas. Fascinating presentation.